Hi guys, what's up? My name is David and welcome back to my channel. So I'm filming this video way in advance, so it's technically not been a year yet, but when this video comes out, it will be almost exactly 1 year since I've had top surgery. If you've read the title, you'll know that this is what this video is going to be about. So yeah, if you don't know me, hi, my name is David, I am 18 years old, and I've had top surgery almost a year ago now. And yes, you heard that correctly. I am 18. I had top surgery a year ago. That means I did have top surgery at 17. I might make an entire video about that, but let's not focus too much on that because it's really not that important right now. So yeah, before I say anything, I will just like to show you all how my chest looks like. So as you can see, the type of surgery I've had is a double mastectomy, which is making 2 incisions underneath the pectoral muscle and removing the breast tissue from there, removing the nipple, sewing it close, and putting the nipple back on. So this means I've had nipple grafts, which means that my nipples had been completely detached from my body and put back on it. What this means is that I don't really have a lot of feeling in my nipples, but I have never really had a lot of feeling in my nipples and I never really put much thought into it, so I don't care that much. And the thing with a surgery like this is that it takes a lot of time for nerves to reconnect, so it's only been a year and it can still change, but there are places where I don't have a lot of feeling still, and it's mostly where my scars are, like right here, and my nipple mostly, but the rest of my chest is pretty much back to how it was normally. So let me put a shirt back on. So as you can see, my chest is pretty much healed, but there are still some things wrong with it that I like to talk about. But before I do, I just want to have a disclaimer that I am perfectly fine with my results. So I am in no way saying that my results are somehow bad or wrong and I disliked them. I just want to talk about some things that could have been better. So first, I want to talk about some complications I had right after surgery. So I had my surgery at the beginning of April in 2023, and the surgery itself went very well. I have had like no complications during the surgery, and during my 1 day in recovery at the clinic, I had my surgery at Gender Clinic in the Netherlands, for context, which lets you stay overnight after you've had surgery. So I had my surgery at 7 a.m. in the morning, and I stayed there the entire day, overnight, and like at 9 a.m. in the morning the next day I could go back home. And I didn't have any complications during the surgery or during my recovery there, but once I came home I started having a lot of swelling. So I had this compression vest, which you get after surgery, and my drains were removed already the day that I went home. So I know that's different to some people's experiences. Sometimes they let the drains in longer, which I personally think would have been better in my case, because after a few days of being home, I started getting a lot of swelling and fluid buildup in my chest, which made me feel horrible, and I really didn't like it because my chest wasn't flat at all. It looked like I had my boobs back, but it was just a lot of fluid inside. It was just So I had to go back and let the surgeon look at it, and at first they told me that there was nothing wrong, but that I should contact them again if it keeps being that way. So I was like, okay, sure. And then a week later it was still not getting better. Quite the opposite, it was getting worse. So I was like, no, you need to do something about this. I cannot live like this. So I went back to the clinic and I got it drained. They put a needle in my chest and then sucked the blood out, and it was a lot of blood. And then for the first time after surgery, my chest looked actually flat. But that was not the end of the problems because the swelling came back. Yay. But this time they told me that if they would drain it again, it would risk. I would have a risk of some kind of infection by sticking the needle in and out and in again. So they preferred to just leave it like that. And after some time, the swelling did go back down, but it took a very long time until it started looking somewhat normal. And there's still one thing I'm gonna have to strip again that has not entirely healed as I would like it to. I don't know if you can see this. Okay, so you see this right here? There's still some little pocket of swelling here that has not gone away. I bet it has been decreasing since I've had surgery, so I still think it might go away on its own. Like if I flex my muscle, you can see it even better. And the other side is even worse. So there's this entire, see, so my chest looks like this from the side, and my nipple's right here. But here is like an entire part that is pretty hard and swollen. And the thing with this part is that it wasn't there before I got it drained for the first time. So it is some kind of buildup that happened after this fluid had been accumulating in my chest. And I have been in contact with the clinic about this, and they just said to let it heal, and it might take a while until it looks better again. But it's been a year and still don't like the way this looks. So I am planning to contact them again when I'm able to. I'm currently on exchange in Sweden, so there's no point now. But when I go back home, I do want to ask them if something has to be done about this. But otherwise, I've been pretty happy with my results. It looks like a normal chest. I've always wanted to have a flat chest, but not like flat. I still have a decent amount of chest muscles, and it was something I did specifically tell the surgeon that I wanted. I did not want to be like unnaturally flat. I wanted to have a masculine looking chest, and I like to work out. I wasn't able to work out a lot after my top surgery, so I'm still trying to get back to my previous form, but it's going okay. And yeah, I would not like to have an unnaturally flat chest with an otherwise muscular body. So I think the ratio of my chest to my other body parts is perfect. I was not sure about my nipple placement, but because it was so swollen in the beginning, it looked like they were sitting higher than they are now, and now I'm pretty fine with them. Still would have liked them to be maybe a little bit lower, but you can't have everything in life. And I know that it sounds like my experience has been horrible and I had a lot of complications and stuff, but I would rather have a flat chest with some points that I might not necessarily love, but my chest is 1,000% better than having tits. So I am very happy with this choice. I am very glad that I was able to get my top surgery as early as I did, and I've been caring for my scars pretty well. I think they are healing pretty nicely. I have tried a lot of things to see which worked the best. So after I had surgery, I think about 6 weeks after I've had surgery, I started massaging them with an oil-based cream that was specifically made for wound healing. I don't have it right now, but I will post a picture of what that looked like. And that was very great, especially in the beginning phases, because it was specifically for healing like fresh scars. I also used an electric massager with that. I also don't have it right now, so I'll also post a picture of how that looked like. And that was nice when I didn't have a lot of feeling in my chest, because these like electric pulses, I think, helped with the re-stimulation of the nerves, but once I did start having more feeling again, it felt very weird. These vibrations on my chest, so I stopped doing that, and instead I started using this derma roller just on my scars, like this, and then also over my chest, and that has been doing wonders. And I also recently started using this. You see this? I started using this cream, which is a silicone based gel with gold in it for some reason. And that has been working miraculously. I have really enjoyed the effects that this has given me, but I'm at a point where it's probably not gonna fade very quickly anymore, so I'm just going to try out lots of different types of stuff to see which I enjoy the most. And I've also been using these these silicone strips. They look like this, and you just cut them to fit the shape that you want to have and leave them on for a few days. And they also work really great, especially for the skin around the scar. They make it more softer, and yeah, generally just silicone is very great when it comes to scars. So I think my scar care has been pretty well, and I've been very motivated to actually care for my scars. It's not like I don't want them visible at all. Like, I'm not ashamed of having these scars. I'm perfectly fine with walking around shirtless and showing them, but I still would like to have my body healed as much as I can. And maybe one day I'll get some kind of tattoo to cover them up. But like I said, I don't feel bad about them. I actually really love my chest right now. I think it's a battle scar showing how far I've come. So I don't need them to be going away anytime. So yeah, my experience after this first year after top surgery has had a lot of ups and downs, but I am definitely very happy that I had the surgery, and it has given me a lot of freedom, especially since I have quite severe asthma, and wearing a binder was hell. I know that wearing a binder is hell for anyone anyway, but I basically had to choose whether I wanted to breathe or wanted to live a bearable life. And generally, the bearable life was the option and not breathing. So I used to get out of breath very easily, especially because I also exercise in my binder, which don't do that. Don't do that. Absolutely don't. So I have been able to experience now what it's like to actually be able to breathe somewhat. I mean, I still have problems with breathing because of my asthma and allergies, but it's still so much better. And not having to worry about putting a binder on, you can just put on a shirt and that's it. It feels great to have something like this just fall directly on your chest with no barrier in between. I am able to wear so much more than I was comfortable wearing before. Like, for example, white clothing. I mean, I still don't like white clothing. I mean, I prefer to wear black, but I do have some shirts that are lighter that I can wear now because I just couldn't with a binder. And same with, for example, the button-up shirts that I can wear open like this, or tank tops. That's been my favorite one because I go to the gym a lot, and I really like having as little as possible touching me because of sensory issues. So I love being able to work out in a tank top that's just like this and has huge armholes. So that's great. And getting top surgery has definitely given me more mental space to focus on other things in life outside of dysphoria, basically, because it limits you so much because it's something that you have to keep in mind all the time. Like, for example, whether you can wear something because you have to wear your binder underneath, or, going swimming, for example. I used to love swimming before I started developing breasts. And then I just took all the fun out of it. and now I can finally go swimming again. I can walk around shirtless, which is something that I enjoy doing very much. I can sleep shirtless. I feel more comfortable, just looking in the mirror and seeing what always should have been there. So yeah, it's definitely been the right choice for me. And I must say, in the Netherlands, I got my surgery covered by insurance, and especially because I got it just before I turned 18, so it would have been free anyway because healthcare for minors is free in the Netherlands. And maybe if I would have gone abroad to a better surgeon, I would have had better results. But I am fine with those I have right now. It's taken me a while to realize that this is my body, but in a good way. I just, even now, when I just see myself shirtless in the mirror, I'm like, wow, that's me. Wow. And it's just an experience that is unlike anything else. And like I said, it's given me so much more space to just focus on other stuff, like my studies, my hobbies, everything. I can enter male spaces without people finding out that I'm trans. I mean, people can still see my scars and assume that I'm trans. But for example, now when I go to the gym, I can just go to the men's changing room and I don't care. It was scary at first, but people really don't care. But when I was earlier in my transition, only a few months into not having had top surgery yet, it was just not done. I could not have imagined doing that, and I didn't feel safe doing that. So now I can just exist in the world as I'm supposed to, and I don't have as many restrictions. I mean, of course, being trans, there's still places around the world where I just won't be able to come because my existence there is basically illegal. But that's a whole different conversation. So yeah, if you have any questions regarding my experience having top surgery, my surgeon, the clinic I went to, or if you haven't had top surgery yet and you have some questions regarding the procedure, recovery, anything, please feel free to ask me anything down below in the comments. Thank you for watching and listening, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.